Daniel. Hey, Daniel. I start early, man. I'll be going all day, though. You know that. Welcome, though. Got you, Daniel. Come back and see us sometime today, and I'll try to shout back at you, man. Have a good one. You know what? I should sharpen tools first, real quick. I'll lay this out while I'm waiting for that stone to soak. Stone to soak. Stone to stoke. I wonder if my curve should be convex, concave. Maybe it should not be very extreme, probably very minor, but I want to start from the top where the top has something like this is what I'm thinking. So I'll leave some shoulder. Let's see, 1/4 of an inch of shoulder. Yeah, that's good right there. I gotta add some curves. We can't have 2x4s and a 1x3 as a bed rail. Welcome, everybody. Beautiful morning. It's a little overcast, but beautiful nonetheless. And then to the edge with this curve. I'm just determined, man. I'm determined to add curves. Even if I couldn't do it that way, I'm gonna do it a different way. Can't wait till I get my steam bender and we'll be efficiently able to do this. Even that curve doesn't look great. Let's add that one again. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, folks. I'm Calvin. Heather's behind the camera. There we go. Love doing this, man. So much fun. Then I get a little, it's Monday morning. You're a little hesitant to get into that work mode, but you start doing this stuff. It's so enjoyable to craft something from scratch. So much fun, so rewarding. Yeah, I got this thing set. I don't want to reset this, so don't let me do that, chat. All the way to the edge. I'm lining it up by that mark and the edge. Hopefully we'll still have that tensile strength we need. All right. It is my birthday coming up on Saturday. We're going to have a little birthday party, here on the live stream. I think that'll look good if I can get that right. We'll use the bandsaw a bit today. Check that stone. Got my wet stone soaking in water here. This is my polishing stone. We had a friend of the program and member Daniel show up first. A little too early for him. He's a nighttime watcher. But we shout out to Daniel. Appreciate his membership and support over this year, I should say. He's been there since almost the beginning. So here we got our curve laid out on both sides. This one looks a little more extreme than this one. I think I didn't run it to the end there. I prefer that over the other side. I might use that as my guideline. Yeah. A little different on both sides, unfortunately. But while we're waiting for that stone, I'll put it through the bandsaw. We're working on this rail for this bunk bed. I'm trying to add some curves to the post right now. That's what my MO is. Put my microphone back on. Putting this post back in to take the next one. Okay, good luck with that, Calvin. Rami, welcome. Rami, I saw you up in Wes's chat yesterday. I remember that name. Thank you, Rami. That's a very good well wish for the day. Appreciate you. Let me lay this out here on this piece of wood. Yep, just waking up. Try to get started early in here. All right, so as I said before, I got this thing laid out to be 1/4 inch away from the tenon so that it has a little shoulder to support the rail. It needs some shoulder, but I want to add curve to it. So here we start. Last time I noticed starting from the top here, from that mark, and making sure I run right to the corner. That'll give me the same curve on both sides. And we'll sharpen tools in just a second. Welcome everybody. I'm so thankful and grateful to have you in here this morning. Grateful to be able to do this one more day. You know, every day that I can craft and things like that, make things out of wood, I'm thankful for and grateful for. Even if my team lost yesterday. We'll get over that. We'll get over that. Let's do it this way. That's how I did it last time. To the edge. The Vikings. We got smoked last night, man. Yep, against the Falcons, they came to our house, and you know, JJ's still learning. This is all new, really. Pennick's got a little more experience, a little more poise in there. So, yeah, it was tough, but I kind of expected that would happen. The previous week was a bit of a fluke. I think, you know. Boop, 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 boop. Let's cut this, and then we'll start sharpening. I think, actually, maybe I should cut all of these. I don't know. Getting a lot of shakeage. I'll take my mic off, folks, so y'all don't get scared. leg number 2. Y'all see the lateral cuts? It shows it right through that. What we got in the chat now? Oh, Rami's a college football guy. I got Vanderbilt. That's right. I kind of recall this conversation from yesterday. Yeah. Because I was busy watching football. You know how it gets. This time of year, the cross breeze starts flowing through the house. Start hearing those football announcers on TV. You getting a vibe, you know. Boom, 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 boom. Do me a favor, folks. Double tap that screen. Like this live stream. Let YouTube know where you like to hang out. We're making a rail for a bunk bed, and I'm adding curves to it right now. I'll zoom out in a second and show it to you. It's pretty plain at the moment. It needs to be get some character, and that's why we're adding curves. Sometimes, obviously, I did this recently. It didn't work out too well, but we're gonna make it work. That's how we're gonna do this. We're not gonna quit. I mean, well, we quit that rail. But sometimes you have to realize when you're cooked on something, man. And I was cooked on that. I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Vanderbilt. Did you, Rami, did you go to Van? If you're still in, don't expect you to be. Speaking of coffee, I probably will have to get myself a coffee out here. I am definitely feeling the Monday morning blues, man. But I love it. I'm here, I'm enjoying it. I'll get in the groove here in a minute. Omari said, Rami said, family ties to Vandy and only college ball I've seen in person. Tennessee native. Yeah, I thought you might be. What's up, Mike? Welcome, Mike. Ray might be going. Smoke. Welcome. Things are very good. It's Monday morning, so we're just trying to. I might have to have Heather bring me a coffee when she's not modding furiously. This one, it's gonna be hard to hold all these on at the same time. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna hold on. This one's the tightest here. New beginnings. What's up, man? Welcome, New Beginnings. How's everybody doing in the morning? Saw Mike was live. Hope that went well. Looked like he was doing pretty good there. I'm so determined. I'm gonna finish this bed eventually, obviously. Just getting started, said Smoke Shop. That's right, man. I gotta get earlier starts. I'm a morning person. Obviously Monday's tough for everybody, but I gotta get an early start to get the most progress done because I just can't do it in the afternoon, man. I just feel lagged. I do my best work in the AM. I always tell people that. I set my appointments for the AM too. If I have a doctor's appointment, anything like that, set that for the AM. It's pretty cool. It's an work IQ vice. They don't sponsor me, so I cover up their logo. He said, I gotta get one of those vices for my workbench. Yeah, because New Beginnings does a combination of different crafts. Yeah, there's a lot of night owls on YouTube too. I think I figured that like I was trying to force myself into an afternoon slot when I think my numbers more have to do with my demeanor. In the morning, I have a better demeanor. And it's obvious. Whenever your vibe spreads on YouTube, especially young folks are really cognizant of vibe. Kind of vibe you're bringing, if it's negative, or positive, or if you're somewhere in the middle, you can't. It's kind of hard to hide. Orami said, I love that red rocket sled behind me. Yeah, that's an original. And one of my first things on here was I went through and kind of restored it a little bit, put some linseed oil on it, redid the red paint and stuff like that. Yeah. I definitely have ridden it before, but it was only when we had ice, because you need thick snow and then an ice coat for those type of sleds to really be like usable. Those rail sleds. Mike said, I will be me shortly. Please hold for the next available menus. Your interaction is important to us. There's Mike's hold music. Yeah, I think there is a Zen factor to woodwork. That's why you see Eastern culture getting so into the meditative and ultra intricate aspect of it. Curved joinery and very fine selection of wood and very careful, like long form joinery, basically. The kind of stuff that takes you a long time to do a very small piece. I can't read that number on there. It's probably 2, but it doesn't really matter whether it's 2 or 3. It looks pretty terrible right now because it's just real simple and very straight with a 1x3. And it's loose too. We got to figure that out too. Might wedge some stuff in there. But before we move on to that, I've had my stone soaking in here for a minute. We're gonna sharpen these tools, so we got good carving tools here. Nikki New, welcome. Been a minute, we miss you, Nikki. Plywood, good morning. P Dubs, welcome. I did actually place my more coarse stone in heavy engine degreaser mixed with water, and it did with some scrubbing. And my dressing stone, which shattered, I was able to get it down to where I could sharpen. So I think for this work, I'm gonna want like this is like one of my favorite chisels here. This one. And maybe we go with one of these smaller ones here. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing a live, then my boss called and I realized Calvin's live is cooler anyway. Appreciate you, Mike. Wasn't trying to interfere, but I've been trying to get on here in the morning and do a work day, really is what I'm trying to do. Y'all know this is my work, as you know. If you don't know that, now you know. So I'm trying to do a work day here. Of course, if any of you have channels, I certainly don't mean to compete. And I also don't mean to apologize. I want to make sure that I don't step on the toes of others. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying, obviously Mike is a member. I'm a member of Mike's channel. I don't want to do that. But we'll always support Mike and all the other channels that we're friends with. So it's that's how we are. We're not gonna, it's not slight inaction and slighting. So let's get after this. 1 second, get my drink here. Oh, I did have my mic on. I thought I was talking to no one there for a minute. Running this morning. I've been having this hip thing. You know, you get old, you run for too long, bones start hurting. You have to like not run. That's even tougher than running for people who've been doing it for years. So a little sore. Trying to find my way around that. Put this other stone in here to soak. How's everybody doing? I got so many in here this morning. Appreciate everybody. Everybody had a good weekend, I imagine. Beautiful fall, kind of fall weather. We're still in summer, technically. But fall-ish, right? Cross breezes, as I was talking about earlier. Nothing like a good cross breeze. Get that fan in the window, other window open. Feel that cross breeze. Appreciate that cool air coming in to relieve your heated body. You know, you've been hot like us for the last few months. I can feel there's a raised edge over here. See my stone now? Dropped my dressing stone. Good thing if you still have a piece of it, you're okay. Mike said, dude, I was pretty sure I wouldn't get impact fractures if I walked too far. Dude, I'm pretty sure I would get impact fractures if I walked too far. Oh, yeah. It gets like that, man. I'm pretty sure I got a couple of those. Definitely my left knee is completely numb. That's probably more of a back issue. But I've had to see a sports medicine person, and I am 42. Gonna be 43 on Saturday. That's another thing. And I've been running for over 10 years, so it's in some ways it's really bad for you. You have to be very careful. Today I've been focusing on tightening my core and stuff like that when I run, so I don't injure legs. Hikes are really good for you, especially if you got some elevation. Thank you, Smokes. It's coming up the end of this week. Smoke said happy early birthday. You know, I'm a September birthday. What can I say? Birthday. There we go. We added inappropriately there. That's what you got to do every once in a while. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this, just a little bit here. Let's get ourselves polished up. Oh, this is a funny one here. Yesterday I was on one of these Appalachian Woodworks or something, Appalachian Homestead channel. I'll read Mike's comment after this too. And somebody talked about, they were putting treated lumber on top of their like plinths, between the plinth or the foundation, the movable foundation is what it is. It's just stones or concrete posts. They were putting treated lumber on it, and I made a comment that was related to the poster saying that treated lumber is not dependable, and I agreed with them. I said, yeah, treated lumber is often irrelevant because it has cracks and checks in it, and the treatment doesn't go all the way to the crack and doesn't go all the way to the center. But the bugs can find the center of the wood immediately, and that place is not treated. So essentially you have rot from the inside out. Now this guy said, I don't know what I'm talking about. He's like, you can just use the evidence of homes up and down the East Coast. I've got a house and poles stuck in the ground that have been there since '94. I said, well, the requirements for treated lumber in 1994 were a lot looser than they are in 2025. The lumber was treated better back then, but it was more unsafe. The chemistry was unsafe. So they changed the regulations. And I didn't say all that, but the dude was like you don't have any influence, and you should maybe spend your money on education and not tattoos and all this other stuff. It's funny, but you know, you get that a lot. All I was doing was standing up for the truth. All right, here we go. Mike said, yeah, I smashed mine up good and proper, young in the military, and of course I would run miles, just thump, 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 no technique, just thudding along like a mule. Yeah, and they made y'all run in full gear and boots. Only young guys can do that. Do that to an old guy, it's blisters and compression injuries. Oh, thank you, baby. I'll take this one here. Y'all like that sound? Oh, that's good. Never had that before. Yeah, it can do that, Schmoke said. So another streaming channel, mentioned a product yesterday that sent me down a rabbit hole, RGB link. Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of stuff like that. You know, as YouTubers, we're constantly making comments and viewing other people's posts. And you find that there's a lot of people that are ego driven that have no following whatsoever. Because this guy said I had no following, he had 1 subscriber. So it's ironic all the time. You find that someone will criticize your following and your clout, and then you find out they got 1 subscriber and no experience really. It's pretty funny. I try not to, you know. It offended me a little, but then, you know, when I look at his thing, I'm like, yeah, why am I offended right now? This is insane. I shouldn't be offended. I should laugh this off. As soon as somebody puts themselves on a YouTube channel, put yourself on a YouTube channel, put yourself out there rather than just making these snarky comments every once in a while. You know, you get checked real quickly. People will check your technique. They'll check your education, your qualifications. All of that's going to get checked. So it's easy to just drop comments. And I said in the comment, I don't want your resume. Please don't bother me with your resume. I don't want to see it. Alrighty, let's take these little posts. I use some hand tools and do some hand tool stuff. Hopefully y'all got a better view of that. It's very early, so my numbers were surprisingly good earlier. I do not expect that. New Beginnings Woodwork said he'll figure out that you was right when he's back in a few years, changing out them treated boards. I agree, man. I don't think he's seeing what's going on with the treated boards, probably. And the bugs do eat them from the inside out now. When those checks and cracks form, wood lice find them so quickly. I don't know if y'all know what wood lice is. I'm sure my creators here probably do. Some of the worst bugs to wood are those wood lice. Moist, dark, they'll find the holes in the wood, no question. Oh, I love doing this. Anyways, I thought I would tell y'all that because y'all are like my friends, and I vent my stuff to y'all without getting negative, because not negative, it was just interesting. Every once in a while and I know they get trolled a lot. This is just one of their many trolls. They allow their trolls to kind of make comments. Sometimes they highlight their trolls' comments because they know it's going to bring in interaction. They appreciated that I defended them, and that's for sure. They're pretty good at what they do, man. They know what they're doing. They don't need people in there telling them they don't know what they're doing. The moment that you defy convention and start moving in your own direction, you will have haters. You will have people checking you. And you have to keep going regardless and keep your trajectory. It's very hard because we're taught to listen to other people and that there's other people that know better. Mike says, stop paying attention to most commentary. Once a reputable content creation resource told me they had no idea why my channel existed. As we talked about, Mike, that, who cares? Yeah, I mean, obviously they were wrong. So if they don't have any idea, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They don't have any idea because their knowledge is 2, 3, 4 years old and the algorithm is changing every day. So if you're going to start a channel, folks, start a channel. You can do it. It takes persistence. That's what it takes. Persistence and a willingness to put up with a little bit of flack, you know. You're going to have to deal with the opinions of others. That's part of it. That's why it's social media, you know. As has been demonstrated in the news recently in the most grave kind of way. However you look at it, you know. I'm not even going to get into the politics, but we know that opinions can be inflammatory, you know. Luckily, we're not in politics here. We're in woodworking, so, you know, if you don't like my chisel brand, you're probably not going to snipe me, luckily. New Beginnings Woodwork said, no matter what you do in this world, no matter what job you have, when you start succeeding and putting forward the willingness that most won't, you are definitely going to have backlash and haters. I agree. I agree, New Beginnings. Yep. Or was that Smokes that said that? Yeah, New Beginnings. Because they aren't willing to put forth the effort to do so themselves. I agree. Often people mask their lack of confidence in themselves and their inabilities by feigning knowledge and feigning confidence. Faking that, you know? That's what feigning means for those of you who are not big on dictionary words. Ooh, that back bevel is nice on this. Look at that. Just simple. I enjoy doing this so much, y'all. Armchair warriors, that's right, man. I got too many things in my day, right? And a lot of y'all do. Too many things in our day to sit there and non-productively argue with someone about wood treatment. Oh, Mike and I'll do it. We'll do it. You know, anybody we know, Mike, Wes, we'll argue about wood treatment, but we're doing it on a live stream, so it's not a waste of time, right? It's worth our time. But to a guy who's off that day because it's raining, you know, and so he's not able to be on the job site and he's sitting on YouTube living his work after work. And I don't mean the kind of work that we like. I mean the kind of work that breaks your bones and grinds you, turning wrenches and such. It's tough. If I was doing this on a coin-operated level, like I'm selling this piece, right? I don't know that I would do it like this. Easy route, right? Because you got to get it done. You got to get that paycheck. And that's why I tell people this kind of woodworking is disappearing, because it's just not practical. It's possible for a lot of woodworkers. And, you know, there are a lot of framers that know how to use a chisel. Not all of them, but many of them do, you know. Some of them were taught in a trade school where they had to learn these basic things. And others of them learned it when they were at home. But Some of them have no experience hand working wood. All they've ever used is power tools. Also is cheating yourself, because the education of the behavior of wood comes from working it. If you don't learn the behavior of wood by working the wood, everything you know is theoretical. I'll give you an example, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. He invented open heart surgery, but he was not a doctor. He was an African-American guy who he had worked on dogs. He worked at Johns Hopkins as the assistant to the heart surgeon that was the resident professor of cardiology. This was at the turn of the century, at a time when they said, do not touch the heart. He worked on dogs and figured out a way to clear blue baby syndrome, which was when babies are born with a lack of oxygen. He figured out a way to do an open heart surgery, basically on a baby, to do it. And he was not a doctor. The doctor was doubtful, the guy who got all the credit for it in the end. But when it worked, he took all the credit. But the point is that he had no experience, because he was all theoretical knowledge. A university medicine professor teaching students how to theoretically work on the body. And this guy had worked on animals and had hands-on experience. So who is the one that came up with it? The guy with hands-on experience, not the theoretical knowledge. So there's their argument. Mike, welcome. Good morning. From up there in North Dakota. I bet it's cold up there this morning. Coming in from the side so I don't blow stuff out. Uh-oh, Smoke Shop said 420 subs. Is that you, Smokes? Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Screenshot. I don't like to do this in this scenario because it pushes the cut line deeper, but probably that was the solution right there. Yeah, man, that's what happens at this stage. You get subs, man. It happens. Keep coming. By the way, I am doing another spin for my member showcase, which is all about getting y'all subs. So if you're just a private member and you don't like that, I understand. I want to showcase everybody. If you're a private channel and you just like getting a shout out, or if you're a private person doesn't have a channel, that's cool, because we'll do that too. We also like shouting out the channels because everybody's trying to grow here. We know that if you're running a channel. So we want to shout you out, take clips of your videos, make remixes. That's what we did last week. We're going to do that again. Look at that. Did y'all see that? Sweet. Though it did take a little more off that side than I wanted. I need to leave shoulder here. Yeah, something that wasn't exactly great. That'd usually be good, but my cut line wasn't even. This was the first one I did. Oh, Wes does it. Welcome. Wes does it in house. I kind of like these, man. Like, here's the general leg shape. This line is not exactly right. It's more accurate to be with the other lines. All right, we make mistakes. This can be cleared up a little bit. That is the general shape. It's like a kind of a triangle-esque shape. I just don't want to, yeah, it looks way better, dude. It's gonna look way better on the rail. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going for. Let's disguise the 2x4 aspect of this, right? And move on to the next one. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm excited. That doesn't look bad, so let's keep it moving. You know what I should have done last time? Y'all know. A stop cut. Because y'all know better, because I've said it before. I'm doing as I say and not as I do, right? Let's something like that. I think it's most important down the way. Let me see if I can go without. I might be able to do without here. Just got to be careful. Just after that last one, that whole piece came off. It took a little more than I wanted, so. And that was white pine. This is Doug fir. They're not too different in how they handle. This one has a little more knots in it. The grain is a little finer. And obviously the wood is slightly redder. Yeah, so I was saying earlier, I'm just trying to put in a work day like everybody else. So make sure that I'm putting in the work, not blindly, but I also want to work for my members. So part of my day after I get off live, I spend working at promoting my other members. Really, that's my goal. So after I get off this live, it's making videos and remixes and spinning for members, because I want to keep my members, even the gifted ones if possible, because that's what we live off of, folks. Live streaming is fun. Smoke Shed live streaming is fun. He just wanted to say that so he could put the SCH in there. That's all. That's the whole reason. A shameless opportunity to use an SCH adaptation of a word. Show, predictable. Trying to get to the bottom where that cut is there. Shameless shtick, I would say. Well, solid shtick is right, correct. Yep. See you later, buddy. Smash the like, said Wes. Appreciate that. Mike's rolling out. See you later. Do 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 do. feel a little bit like I'm gonna get blowout here. That's why I'm doing this. I just got my woodworking instinct is telling me blowout is near. Something about this spot right here. No trying to subscribe, LOL. Me not trying to subscribe? It's all good. I will tell you, YouTube does this, man. Oh, Pilato. I appreciate you, Pilato. I know you're up all night and all that. Doing that midnight oil thing. That's fine, though. Glad you popped through. Member Pilato. Appreciate him. I'm in a music hole right now, guys. I've been listening to jazz because I don't know what else music to listen to right now. There's just nothing grabbing me. Oscar Peterson this morning. The late great Oscar Peterson. C-Jam Blues and All of Me. That's why I'm humming it. It's in my head. Smoke Shop said, I have another stream, and he forgot his CH in stream. It's misspelled, but it's all right. We'll pass that misspelling. I'm playing Grateful Dead. Yeah, I might have guessed you were a Grateful Dead or a Fish guy. No offense if you don't like Fish, but you know, I've known a few Deadheads. They tend to have Beatles in their garage and stuff like that. We just met 2,000 subs. We're so proud of that. You know, to promote ourselves, we will say thank you. We'll give you all the gratitude that you need, you deserve. Thank you for making us a channel that is over 2,000 subs. And with that being said, if you've been a sub for a while and you enjoy it here, consider membership. Right now, it's a subscriber-only chat. It'll probably be, if I do another live this afternoon, it'll be members-only chat. And, oh, wow, I cut in a little bit more than I wanted to there. Mike Osborne said, I've been listening to Stephen McWhirter. I don't know that one. I love that sound. Some people don't, but I do. In another window, but yeah, I said Smoke Shop. That's true, man. All right, Pilato. Pilato said, feels like I'm usually hearing streams from the ungrateful living. Ooh. 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 Well, let me be the first person to say I am grateful if you haven't heard this yet today, besides in your own prayers, Pilato. I am so grateful that you're here, that we're all breathing one more day. that I'm here to do this today. I'm incredibly grateful, incredibly thankful, and very privileged to be able to be here. I don't forget that. Oh, gospel singer. Okay. Yeah. I'm not against the gospel. I go through like gospel listening phases. I bother Heather with it too. Yeah, I have my gospel like playlist for sure. I know I don't seem like a very holy man, but you know, you should have seen me during the grunge era. Dude, I got my cymbal over there. Sorry, had to throw that in there. I pull up my Spotify playlist and say the gospel that's on my list. And if you had a jigsaw, you could probably do this with a jigsaw. I want the hand carved look a bit. I don't want to put a jigsaw on this and just cut a wrong angle. Bye, Pilato. Pilato says, see y'all next time. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Pilato, out there in the West, adding a little enrichment to our chat. Little wisdom thrown in there. Appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out, Smokes. I like that. Werk. I got to get to my Werk in the German sense. Das ist Werk, ja. Das ist mein Werk. Das ist mein Werk. Yeah. Do I have any German? I have like 30% of my audience is German according to my stats. Mit dem, how do you say wood? I don't want to lose that shoulder. That's why I did that. Y'all see that end? Really important. Love to get this whole rail fashioned today. That would be good, wouldn't it? The whole thing kind of laid out and feel like it looks good, because I haven't had that feeling yet, guys. I'm not loving how it looks right now, but that's all right. We're going to get it straight. Oh, look at that little curl that made. Wish y'all could see that little. See that little thing? Love that. That's part of the little. It's the little things. Literally. I wouldn't even mind rounding these off either. We'll see how that looks. And number 2. Just making wood chips out here. Mountains of wood chips. Uh-oh, don't fall. Oh yeah, that looks better, guys. And you can see that the angle, it doesn't look like 2x4s anymore. Well, kind of. We might do a little more to it, but definitely looks better. Also, my 1x3 is curved, so I'm gonna have to force that into place. Oh, knot right there. Might need a smaller chisel just to pulverize that, as I've preached many times, but it looks like it came out kind of easy there. I want to be careful now around here and do stop cuts, because that knot is going to affect the grain here. I might put my gloves on in a little bit, because holding the back of the chisel after having the back bevel sharpened so many times, it actually cuts into my hand. So I might start bleeding. Don't want that to happen on the live stream. Just because of that knot, I don't trust it. You can see there's more than one way to get these out, but I probably wouldn't do it this way because of the rigid way it comes out. I would do it the other way if I don't worry about that knot. Another knot right there too, so I'm glad I did that. 2x4s that I used on that last bed, every time I look at that bed, I'm like, man, those were exceptional pieces of commercial lumber. I don't think I had that same luck on this one. Obviously, I told you I was rushed at the lumber yard. I did not like that. I'll straighten that curve out a bit, or, you know, curve that curve out a bit there. Mike Osborne said, Wes told me about your channel. Well, he was saying you support him. I do. I support Wes 100%, man. Absolutely. He does he does an awesome job. He's an incredible guy, man. Yep. I know. I see you on Wes's. You're loyal to Wes's channel. That's good. I don't expect that to change. I'm glad you popped in. You hanging out with us, though. You know, Wes is a good dude, man. And I sincerely appreciate him sending you down this way. Absolutely, Mike. We support Wes here. Wes is crushing it, man. I watched this video this morning with the violin. 25K views, like hundreds of comments. I mean, his shorts do really well, too. It's not just his live stream. So Wes can sometimes take a couple of days, and he has some momentum. He's doing really well. I was on that short when he first published it. Today is the first time since. And I was like, wow, that short is crushing. And if you're listening, here's a tip for you. A little inside tip. If you want to do good live streaming, you need to keep shorts in the short feed. Because a lot of the live stream viewers, that's where they're coming from. The old YouTubers hate the shorts, man. They feel like the shorts destroyed their income. The problem with that is that when things change, you got to be a chameleon. You got to adapt to that change. It's tough, especially if you've been collecting checks, you know. You're getting 1 million views on every video you drop, no matter how bad the quality is, because they send it to all your subscribers, right? Well, they stopped doing that. And you got to do it on the merit of your subscribers going and checking your channel out, because they haven't been there in a while. When they see this video, you're going to get 1/3, 1/10. It's going to be a fraction of the amount of views. And that's what's happening with the older YouTubers. They're not recommending their content, and they know it, and they can't stand it. So basically, what that means is, I mean, I love my subscribers. Keep subscribing. But subscriber count is less important than it used to be. The community you build is the most important thing. That's why I count all y'all as my friends, and I Hope to see you as much as possible. I know you guys got other stuff to do. Real life plays a factor. But we're glad we got to 2,000 subscribers. But it was, you know, when we did it, it was more of an afterthought. Oh, great. Mike said, I love woodworking. And that he's been using more hand tools in this stage of life. We love the hand tools, man. Yeah, we use power tools here, but the hand tools, just there's certain touch that they give to the piece. I know. That imperfection is sometimes a good thing, you know, like a hand-hewed beam in a house. You see the hand workmanship of that beam. Rich people who get elegant custom homes will often ask for a beam to be hand-hewed if they're getting a timber frame. And then, you know, just because they want the look of it having multiple marks from the ads and stuff on there. ADZ ads, not ADS ads. All right, that's my next one. And of course, all the little maker's marks on here will be taken off. We're on the last one of these. I fully support you using hand tools, Mike. I'm glad you're doing that. You know, you've got my full vote of confidence on that. Ooh, big knot right here. Huh. We may have to do this here. Another knot here toward the beginning. We need that one covered too. Hopefully we can handle that curve, that knot with that. I'm right on that knot right now. Heather B said, I was going to ask some dumb question about it. I'm glad I caught it before I did that. Not fair, they're spelt the same. Haha. Let's go back a second. Wow, Mike, I love that. I'm going to attempt to build a wooden plane. That's pretty awesome. Definitely a dream of mine. Or a boat, you know, just so we can get away. You know what I mean? Like, we just need something to get away with. We're Americans. We have wanderlust. But yeah, wooden airplanes, really cool, man. Really precise, though. Everything to a very little tolerance. I think back in the day, it was like, you know, they could build spruce ones when they had bigger motors. Like the Spruce Goose was a huge airplane. The Howard Hughes design, mostly wood. Also the Mosquito, the de Havilland Mosquito, one of the best fighter bombers during World War II, was all wood, laminated wood construction, which is awesome. Wood was still awesome and gave them a great range on that plane. It had a really long range and was strong. I think there's only a couple of them left in existence. The Havilland Mosquito. That's the last like commercial wooden framed airplane there was, I think. And that was for military use in England. RAF bomber, Mosquito bomber. I don't think America had any wooden frame airplanes during World War II. World War I one's all basically wooden framed. Piano wire, wooden frame. Let's see if we got Mike talking about it now. Oh, a hand plane. Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about a wooden airplane. Oh, yeah. Now, Mike does one of those on his, he started one on his Mike is Making Stuff. But I haven't seen many other people attempt to make a wood plane. It's very precise. Same thing, kind of. Very little tolerance because you got to get that blade straight in there. It depends on what kind of plane you're going to make too. Pull style or push style. Oh, you meant airplane. See how dumb I am. That's a good project, man. I got to fix my wooden hand planes and tune them up. One of my videos shows me pulling leather, feather-like pieces of wood out of this plane, and I gotta be honest, my plane has not been the same since. I mean, it's been used since then. It hasn't been retuned. Needs a tune-up. Yeah, push style. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Though the design of the Japanese one's probably a little easier. Push plane is more familiar to people over here. All right, I'm going to examine this for knots real quick because I see one right here. Right here. There's one on the top right here. I'm doing everywhere around it with a stop cut. So wherever that grain is wonky, I even see a tiny one over on this side that could cause problems. I'm making a stop cut in the vicinity. Right here, we got one too, right on the line. This is Dad's Workshop. My name is Calvin. We're here every day except for Sunday. And if I'm, out or I have things I have to do, there are occasionally days I'm not here. But during the week, on an average week, I'm here every day, Monday through Saturday. So definitely subscribe if you like to relax by watching this content or learn some stuff. I can learn from you too. That's what happens a lot, actually. It's like an intense apprenticeship of me apprenticing to all the experts that I see in my live stream. I respect all of those people too. Yeah, if you do decide to build a wooden airplane, we will watch. Both of us will watch. And my sons, because they love that stuff too. My sons are obsessed with wooden airplanes. Both of them. Well, my elder, I have 3 sons. My elder 2. Y'all can see where that knot came out, see? Knot hole. That was the one with the knot. Huh, interesting. Mike said, my pops gave me a skill saw, told me to cut and stack a bunch of wood, showed me the first cut and walked away. That's a Miyagi approach, you know. Sometimes you got to get Miyagi by somebody, man, you know. It's a real thing. People teach in different ways. I had a piano teacher in college, my jazz piano teacher. He has a Wikipedia. He's a famous jazz player. You can check him. His name is Charles Covington. He was my teacher in college, and he didn't talk much. He'd make me prepare for myself for the lesson. Oh, dog screaming out here. He'd make me prepare for the lesson, and usually that's when they're scratching at their ears. He would make me prepare for the lessons, and I would have to come in there and show him what I learned based on what he would show me. He would sit down and be like, I don't know if you should, he's real soft spoken. I don't know if you should do it like that. Let me show you a way. Let me show you a way to do it. This is how I do it. He would show me. He would sit back, and then he would continue to watch me demonstrate either what I learned from him or what I had been practicing during the week. It was a very Miyagi-like approach to teaching. I did learn a lot, but it was could be awkward sometimes. Mike says he was 7, 56 years ago. So it was a long time ago. Skill saws were still really good then. Nowadays, skill saws are expensive, like the real ones. That's what the real carpenters got. They got one of them nice skill saws. That looks like a 2, so it should be in this order. I think the next step we'll go through all these legs and round off these edges a bit. My little chisel to do that. Taught my dad chess that year. Interesting. Yeah, my dad taught me chess in the hard way, like beating the mess out of me multiple times. It's okay. That's fine. It's all in good fun. Love Dad. Love you, Dad. If you're out there watching, Dad, maybe. You never know. I wish y'all could see how thin that slice of wood is. Now we got the knot, but I don't want to take a lot off. I just want to round off those corners. And next. This one's got a little. I see that. Yeah, that guy I was telling you about a second ago, Mike, my piano teacher, Charles Covington, was a life master, world champion chess player too, man. Besides being a concert jazz pianist, he was an LM in chess, man. I wouldn't have been able. I tried to play him one time. Yeah, no, like checkmate in 2 moves. Had to go back and study my chess book. First of all, I needed to learn how to castle. I forgot how to do that. That's a key move in chess. That was not a great cut I just made. It's all right. Weird that you just brought that up right after I was about to say, yeah, he was also really good at chess, and you brought up chess. Funny how the duality of things sometimes. Well, looks like I got this side already. Ooh, nice breeze. Go figure your barber was like the best chess player in town. Did you grow up in South Dakota, Mike? I mean, North Dakota? You'd be the first person I knew to grow up there. Like, I know it's not a very populous state. Oh, that was a nice little curly cue. That little curly cue there. Nice. Spokane, Washington. Okay. It's up there in Carrie's stomping ground. Question, Mike, is it colder? Is it colder in Spokane in the winter, or is it colder in North Dakota? I already know the answer to this one, I think. Oh, really? It's colder in Spokane, huh? That's shocking to me, man. I don't think North Dakota had a brutal winter. Hmm. Do me a favor, folks, if you've been in here hanging out with us, show YouTube that you like to be here and double tap that like button, or double tap the screen if you're on a device like a phone, and let them know that you like to be here right now as we carve these legs out for this ladder. Wow. Yeah. Nah, see, North Dakota is super cool. That's what I thought, man. That's a cool place. Dogs barking at the garbage truck. Not there, got me a little. Nope, I didn't leave. I'm still here. Mike said, thought you left. No, we're still here. I usually make a big to-do about when I leave, unless my phone cuts off. That does happen sometimes. What is he talking about? Probably not talking about me here. I'm answering to something that's not about me. I feel like I just peeled a lemon, an orange with one peel right there. Got one peel for the whole thing. I'm good, baby. Thank you. Heather said, how am I doing on caffeine and hydration? I'm really good. It's not too hot, so I'm good at the moment. My right hand, Heather, appreciate her. Love her. Couldn't do it without her. Oh, that breeze is so nice. That's right, man. You gonna make yourself a cup of coffee, Mike? Make me one too. Ceremonially, and then you can drink it for yourself. Wes gotta have his coffee, man. Gotta have his coffee. I have my coffee too. I usually only drink 1 or 2 cups. I do that before I run. You know, it gets the digestion going and stuff. So here's my other idea. I want to run a diagonal, like ribbon type design into this top piece here to give it some personality other than being this boring 1x3. I don't want to take any strength away from these little joints that are already a bit weak. So the next step today, after I take a second as a break, will be to start to fashion how I'm going to run this rail. Like, how am I going to carve this rail? And then I have to make sure that these things are doweled down before I actually glue them up, because they won't sit down flat if I don't do that. It's a little bit tricky here. So I think the first thing to do is I'm gonna take a second, just a little bit of a water break, just take a breath. Then I'll come back and start some sort of a design on this rod here, on this rail. The other thing, this is probably more important, is to put braces in here. That is diagonal pieces that can support the racking stresses of the structure. And I can do those pretty easy. I almost feel like it needs to be glued for that though, because it won't be a consistent distance there. So now I got those legs shaped. They're gonna have to be sanded and maybe angle grinded too. Yeah, so we'll go from there and design that rail, and also toward the end of the day we will glue them up so that they are they're in the place they're going to be. I need them all to be touching down on that rail, which is going to be kind of tricky, to be honest. With this 1x3 is not straight, so it's not going to be conducive to such a thing. It's not going to be fun to do it, but I'll get it done. I'm sure I can finally get them in to place. Probably a way to do it will be figure out a way to clamp them in or jam some sort of a wedge in there. I wonder how much this would work here. Can't read that. This is 2. If y'all hear stuff fall, it's not my fault. Looks better like that with those curves, I'll be honest. So the next step is to I'm going to lay out where this is on the rail too, so it's uniform every time. There we go. Bear with me one moment while I go take a water break. Be right back. Alrighty, we're back at Dad's workshop. Alrighty, let's take this top rail without trying to knock these guys over. Leave them in place. Welcome back, Mike. All right, so what do I do to make this rail have some personality? I'm thinking I just go I'm trying to use consistent curves throughout this thing, so I don't want to take too much of the strength away, but I want to have like a wraparound design kind of. It should still be able to maintain its strength. Let's decide where we want to put this here. I got a yardstick here. We'll use that to measure some distances out. Total thing is 50 inches or so, 58 inches. I have to pick an interval of space that allows me to stay away from those mortises. Yep, if I do 10 inches, it's close there though. It's 11.5 inches between those mortises approximately. Let's put it at 5.5 inches. And we need something to get ourselves a one of these guys gives you a perfect 45, so we'll start with that. I don't know if I can get one there with that knot. What I absolutely cannot do is weaken the rail. At least not too much. I'm gonna have to weaken it a little to put design in there. And every time I put one of those on here, I'm going to go and transcribe those lines on the side. I don't know where my speed square is. That's going to be a kind of a necessity. I may only want them on the top and sides too, because I don't want to weaken the bottom. No one's going to see the bottom side, so it doesn't make sense to put those on there and weaken the wood worse. I'm only going to take off I'm probably going to take 1/8 of an inch off. Set my bit to that. You can see I got my layout marks there and layout marks there, and the triangle or the diagonal lines. Then we're going to round this off by sanding, but we're not going to do a real detailed job of that. That line's not correct. It should be right here and right here. And then in the next couple days, once we finish this project, is going to be the ladder, and we'll be done. Well, after the finishing, we have to finish, which is fun. I have to set my camera out and take the hidden views, you know, but I love finishing, so I won't worry about that at all. Yeah, the square, that's not really a square. It's more of it's a triangle. Bondo boy, Bondo. I went and drove this F-150, the 85. He wanted like $1,500 for it, but then I went there. He's like, man, I'll take like $9 for it. Man, that truck was put together with Bondo. I don't know if you ever seen that. Someone tried to basically reconstruct them. He must have drove that thing on the beach. I know because I live near the coast. I have seen trucks that have been driven on the beach, and then they didn't go to the wash after they were done. And that's a bad mistake, man. Bad mistake. Always go to the car wash after you drive on the beach. Yep, so that's what I'm going to do. And I might actually put, if I can, nah, I don't think I'll do it with the band. I'll do it with the handsaw. Take these in just a smidge, like I told you, 1/8 of an inch is what I'm going to try to take off. So I'll set my tool here, it's 1/8 of an inch. Make a mark on there and then make saw cuts. I'm okay if these subtleties are not really visible from a distance, you know. Not gonna worry about that too much. Barndo boy. I'm going to try the Forstner on this, but I think it's probably better to use like a regular bit. Forcing it to be tricky if you got other holes there, though. Have you ever seen these stump grinders? Stump grinders got basically like a screw top and a Forstner bit. And they just shave the stump away. I saw one on the Instagram thing. It was very satisfying. Cut this other side with the saw. You guys can't see the layout marks, unfortunately. Yeah, the reason I'm taking this only an 1/8 off here is because and really it needs to be angled in at 45. So you're going to see me come off this line a little bit. Seems about right. I have no mallet. In about 10 minutes, we're going to take a break for about an hour, and we will come back. When we come back, it may be members only chat, maybe subscribers only. I do not know. Definitely consider becoming a member if you're in here a lot. It's $2.99 a month. It's really not a big investment. And I love to like give my members all kinds of like extra perks and stuff. So consider it. If this weakens the rail, I got to build a whole nother rail. Make it interesting for y'all, wouldn't it? Third rail. Kind of like a subway. Routing plane would also do this, or a router, but a router you would have to be real careful with. It's very fine work for a router. Oh, look at that, the file fits perfectly in there. don't mind if these edges are rounded off some either. Going around the whole rail is going to be rounded off essentially. And here we have the first one cut in here. It's only going to be visible kind of from the side and the top, but it's to add a design element. You know, I might even add a little curve in there. Actually, that's not bad, dude. It kind of looks good on camera too. A little tricky to do, but yeah, I'm not upset about that at all. Oh yeah, I like that because it just breaks up the monotony of the piece quite a bit. And we are going to continue with that when we come back on Dad's Workshop. This is Dad's Workshop. My name is Calvin. I love and appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you so much. We will be back. Definitely think of becoming a member. Definitely subscribe and tune in later this afternoon when I continue this rail. And look for my shorts and member shout outs because I'm getting ready to do one of those here in a second too. Thank you everybody for being here for my morning edition. We'll be back in the afternoon. Appreciate everybody. Love y'all. Do the next right thing.